Yeah, I'm lost and numb, cold to the touch. I pretend like I don't remember your name. Every masterpiece built a blasphemy. When I close my eyes, yeah, I still see your face. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from the spark. I was figure just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying where you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. It was us against the world. It was us against the world. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from the
Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We're continuing on with our 2020, now 2021 Black Box Winter VR Invitational. We are on to the semifinals and things are really starting to ramp up. We're going to kick things off with Josh and Preston in our first match. And even though the number of matches are decreasing, just 2 today, and then we'll have the final and the third place game next Friday, the quality is only going up. Of course, I am Michael Fisher, joined once again by Amber Parker to call all of the Black Box action. And Amber, what are you expecting from our semifinalists here today?
I am expecting just a very high level of performance. These guys are going to push really hard.
We've seen some pretty crazy things so far. We've seen double tiebreakers. We've seen a couple people lose to the boss that they're battling. So I'm really curious to see. I know Preston has had quite an impressive run. I'm really curious to see if we see people even maybe starting to dominate this boss now that we've gotten on to the top 4 competitors. As we said, it's going to be the 2 semifinals today. Next Friday, we'll have the third place game and the finals. If you're new to this, just wait. It is a ton of fun, and it's very easy to get into. It is a 30-minute workout and a video game at the exact same time. It is a ton of fun. If you want to go check it out, they are in Boise in the Zions Bank building downtown. Here is how we got here. As we mentioned, we'll start with Preston and Josh, and then we'll go to Barrett and Mr. Mojo to wrap things up for the night. Preston has, as I mentioned, Amber, just really been dominating. I think averaging 5 to 6 crystals destroyed per match, which no one else is really even close to.
No one else is touching that. No, he really brings his A game every time he gets into that booth.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see what the boss is today and exactly what the competitors are going up against. I mean, last time I think they had a level 29 or level 30 Shield Maiden, which you said had about 90,000 health, which is absolutely just insane to think about. As I said, if you don't know what's going on, it's pretty simple. You'll be taking on an AI boss, working out, doing damage, kind of like I said, working out and playing a video game at the same time. It is the most crystals destroyed that is the win condition. The points that you see on your screen will only matter in a tiebreak scenario. And here is the boss, and it's interesting to note that he does not have a Shield Maiden, who you and I have kind of seen seems to be the overall strongest champion. So that's going to be interesting that they don't really have to deal with him. They don't deal with the Big Sue, but it's not the Shield Maiden that's been dominating everything right now.
That is true, but that level 35 Big Sue is no joke at all.
It's also got the level 29 minion crew. We saw Mr. Mojo use that. He has kind of a unique strategy that we'll see later today. A lot of the competitors, their strategy is pretty simple. It's the Shield Maiden, which is one of the best tanks, if not the best tank in the game. Then they'll put a bunch of Scotties, which are just archers, right behind her, and let them just rain down damage. But we've seen a couple, like I said, Mr. Mojo uses the minion crew. You said that it absolutely can dominate people, so I'll be curious if people are able to handle the boss's level 29 minion crew, because that is going to be doing an insane amount of damage we see here. It's Josh and Preston in our first matchup here. And looks like we got our interview ready, so let's go to our pregame interview here before we kick things off.
Did anybody kneecap Preston for me, or?
Not yet. That is not on tape. All right, folks, I'm here with Josh Johnson going into the semifinal round of the Winter Invitational here at Black Box VR. A few questions for you, Josh, before you head into battle. Are you excited for today's battle? Let me start with that.
I don't know. There's a new build, and the AI got a lot harder. So the last couple of weeks have been tough. So excited, maybe not. I'm hoping to get through this one.
All right. Well, what's your preparation been like going into this battle? Have you been staying active, coming into Black Box, or doing any other stuff outside of it?
Yeah, I've been coming in still regularly through the holiday breaks, and I've been doing a lot of skiing. So
Okay.
last time I was in here a few days ago, the quads felt really good. I did a whole lot of squats, so I'm hoping that works for me today too.
All right. Yes, definitely. And what are your thoughts going up against this new AI, Anubis?
So I think it looks like we're going to see a lot of Big Sue today. I don't like Big Sue. Out of the tanks, he is does the most damage, so he's not that hard to take down, but it means when you see Big Sue coming, you have to kind of drop whatever you're doing and react. When you go against a boss that uses a lot of Big Sue, I always feel like I get pulled off of my game and have to be more reactive.
Right. So we may see some fire beam today, right? Some chest press or overhead press. Last question for you. What are your thoughts of your opponent, Preston? You're going against Preston today. What are your thoughts towards him?
Yeah, we're going to see how that works out for me. I don't know. I heard a rumor that Preston was in here a couple of weekends ago, did like 4 back-to-back sessions. I think when you look at this, there's a lot of skill, strategy, but at the end of the day, right, this is a workout. So I think you get out of it what you put in. And unfortunately, I think Preston's been putting in more than I have. So we're going to see. But I got my strategy. I'm really going to be focused on beating the AI today. That's my goal. And I'm really going to work hard to weather the initial storm. I think the opportunity can come late in the game when the AI starts to go easier on you. And I think the last couple of rounds, I think I probably went too hard at the beginning. I was really focused on getting a lot of crystals. And I think that if I had held some in reserve and felt a little better at the end, I might have done better. So that's going to be the strategy today.
All right, good deal. Well, it sounds like you learned from last time. So good luck today, Josh. And back to you guys.
I don't know if you can call that confidence from Josh that he was going to beat Preston, but at least, I liked his goal. He at least wants to be able to beat the AI, and it seems like he's kind of learned from his other matches earlier in this tournament. So it sounds like he's got a good idea. I think he also kind of realizes that Preston probably the best player we've seen so far in this tournament, though.
This is true, and I was there when Preston did his 4 back-to-back sessions.
So that wasn't a rumor. That was actually true.
That was true. It was a record, though. He has never done that before. It's got to make you feel nervous when you know you're going up against that.
I'm blown away, honestly. I'm like every 2 days, I'm like, man, I could really use like another day off. But 4 back-to-back sessions, that's just insane to me. I don't even know how he can do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, there might be rumors he's not human. I'm not sure about that, though.
I honestly would believe it. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. But I'm excited to see what Josh can do. We're going to kick things off here. As we said, 30 minutes on the clock. Whoever gets the most crystals destroyed will be the winner. If there's a tiebreaker in crystals, then we do go to points. And I'm going to be curious to see how they want to attack it, because last time it was, all right, how do you deal with the Shield Maiden that's going to be instantly summoned? Now, I mean, you see, looks like a Water Owl and a Minion crew. It's going to be a little bit easier for them, I think, at the start to deal with some of the AI's champions.
It's definitely an interesting mix that the AI is using this time. Minion crew can become very overwhelming very quickly, and with that high of a level, it's not something you want just barreling down the, your either one of those lanes at you.
Looks like there's 2 of them going here at Josh. Now, I did just unlock Minion Crew, so I don't know about them yet. Are they a type, or are they, what is super effective damage against them?
Well, since they're not elemental based, nobody can get a critical on them, so that's helpful. They are cheap to deploy, and they are a really good distraction as well. So you can overwhelm an opponent very quickly with just deploying them over and over again.
Yeah, I can see on Josh's screen on the left-hand side here, our dual screen, there are a ton of minion crews running at him right now. Didn't see how Preston started out. Looks like he's got a couple of minion crews left over on the left side, but he's going to start summoning his rock dude here and get that tank going. I'll be curious to see which lane he wants to put it down, because it looks like there's a couple of minion crews on his left lane there.
Yeah, Preston does love his rock dude. I mean, even the shirt that I'm wearing currently right now, that is the meta. That is rock dude and Scotty.
It looks like that's what he's going for. He's, I think, ignoring the minion crew. And you said they were very cheap. The AI has just been spamming them all over the place against both of them, and it seems like for the most part both of them have dealt with it pretty well. You see Preston's gates are 97 and 64, and Josh's are about the same.
Right, a good AoE attack is always going to take out a minion crew. It's just the fact that you can just continually deploy it, and it just becomes one of those just like, oh my gosh, go away.
Yeah, you can see actually Josh's right gate there is really low, and he's still sitting on 4,000 energy elixir, so he's gone with the dealing with all the minion crews first and then trying to pump out damage. Meanwhile, Preston has gone with the opposite, which was put down the rock dude, put down the Scotties on the right side, and just start pumping the gate there against an Anubis.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely 2 different strategies and approaches going on right now. Looks like Preston's just going to go for another tank, while Josh is just going to focus on his direct attacks.
We have not seen many people use Tidal at all.
He doesn't get as much love as I think he should. He's a sturdy tank. Doesn't cost as much to deploy. Can handle a decent amount of damage. Not a bad dude to have in your deck.
Oh, we also see the minion crew here from Preston as well. So he's going all out on that right side. Meanwhile, Josh is still trying to deal with the constant pressure he has. You can see the 500 points for the AI. He has lost his gate, so he's got to be careful that he starts putting some champions out, or he might get overrun and lose the crystal to the AI first.
This is true. I'm not exactly sure what elixir that Josh is at this point, but I would get something out there.
Looks like he's around 4K, so that would be more than enough for the tank and 3, almost maybe 4 Scotties, depending on what tank he wants to put out there. So I'm curious what he's waiting for, but right now he's just kind of content loading up exercises one after another, and I think he's run the boss out of energy elixir. So he's just kind of waiting right now.
Yeah, that is one way to do it.
Well, looks like there maybe was one more minion crew. Those just kind of got obliterated there by the overhead press. Yeah, I'm surprised he's waited. We've not seen people wait this long usually to put out champions, but I guess he's stockpiling for something crazy, I would have to think.
Yeah, I think he's got something up his sleeve right now.
You have to be careful. His crystal is exposed. You can see the boss hitting it for about 1 to 2% every time. Meanwhile, we look at Preston's screen here in the dual screen. He's taken down a gate, and he's actually got the boss's crystal at 50%, so Preston right now well in the lead here in this matchup.
Absolutely, and Preston's gates are looking really solid too. Neither one of them are, I think, even below 60%.
And now we see, here comes the double shield maiden and the spark crows, it looks like, here for Josh. So a little bit different than what we've seen. We usually see people go with shield maidens and Scotties, so he's going to change it up just a little bit. Now throw down a couple of lightning tigers to help take down that right side gate. And he gets double damage mode, so he should be able to pump through it pretty quickly.
Spark crows have become my recent favorite. Learning when to use them is actually really fun. They are something helpful. I highly recommend putting those in your deck.
I think I just unlocked them. I know I unlocked the minion crew today when I beat the boss, but I don't remember if it was spark crows or not that I also unlocked. So there's a couple things that I definitely want to start messing around with here once I get them out of packs. I'm very sad when I unlock it and I don't get it for free. I'm like, I have to find it in a pack. Come on.
Yeah, that does happen. That's always unfortunate. Just the handy thing about them is that they, unless there's a ranged unit on the field, nothing's going to touch him. And it draws the AI's fire away from everything else because he's going to have to use his direct attacks on it. So it's super helpful.
Go to Preston's screen here. It does look like with the 1,500 points, it's 500 points for taking down a gate, 1,000 for taking down the crystal. So he has picked up the first crystal of the game. As I mentioned, it's crystals that are the main point of winning. If there is a score tie, then we'll go to score, if there's a tie on crystals, and that's score differential for them versus the boss. But right now, Preston sim pretty well, maxing out the reps, so he'll have to wait for the exercise to load up. But you can see Josh is taking down a crystal as well, so it's still pretty close. Right now, the only difference is that one gate that Josh lost earlier on.
Yeah, Preston just powered right through those hysterical reps there. Just insane. But it gets you the most damage as well. So if you can do them, it's the best way to go.
That is a lot of minion crews on the left gate for Preston that he is just right now choosing to just completely ignore.
Yeah, that is a lot happening over there.
I just love that. Whoa, that is a ton of minions. So it looks like now he's gone with the deadlift, the stiff leg deadlift, the AoE attack, as you mentioned. There were a lot of minion crews over there. Now there is nothing.
Exactly. They just don't last long. They are, they're kind of like gnats.
Does look like for Josh, he's got quite a few of those minions and that big Sue that he mentioned in the pre-match interview that he was worried about. And unfortunately, probably one of my few minor complaints is that the targeting in this game, it doesn't always work how you want it to. It'll target something that's attacking your gate. So he was using a single target attack, and it was just one-shotting minion crews instead of going after that big Sue and doing super effective damage, which is just a little bit annoying. But now he's going to go to the AoE here and just kind of melt through all of those minion crews really quickly.
It can be very frustrating with the targeting. It just that placement of where they're standing, the auto target, it can't always be perfect.
Oh, no, I totally agree. It's just one of those things where it's like, no, please stop hitting that one. I want to hit that, or like you'll have a supercharge and you'll accidentally hit a minion. You're like, no, why did I just waste like 2,000 damage on a minion? So it's just one of those things. But
yep.
I'm sure these guys are well used to it, so they definitely are like, you know what, just one of those things that, the limitations of virtual reality. I think we talked about this last time we had an event. 5 years from now, this is going to be insane. And we see that Josh actually had to use a grenade. He just could not find a way to deal with all those minions and that big Sue.
And yeah, they really wore his gate down over there too, so I don't blame him for wanting to use a power-up at that point.
Once again, he's racking up the energy elixir, 3,800. Curious to see if he's going to try and maybe use it a little bit faster this time. Right now, he's trying to build a turret.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd want to put something over there on that side with the 3% gate.
I wonder, since the boss is, I would assume, most likely out of energy elixir, if not very, very low. I would wonder if you wanted to save that turret and bring it out next round when you can deal with all those minion crews right away.
That's a good point.
Because those things are, as you said, they're like gnats. They go down very quickly, but they're all very, very annoying. Meanwhile, Preston has taken down another gate, so he's got the crystal exposed for Anubis, and it looks like he's got a rock dude, a tidal. He's starting to throw a bunch of minion crews out there now, and he's got that crystal at about 50% already.
He is really just crushing this right now.
So he's gonna, looks like he goes for the overhead press, try and help out his champions down there, clear out the wave. And this should, I would think, in the next 45 seconds or so, help him get his second crystal to match. Meanwhile, Josh, he's got, once again, 4,000 energy elixir. I bet you now he'll start building up those champions and start trying to run down one of those gates. He does have a tower. I can't tell if it's a flame turret or a Tesla coil to deal with on the right lane.
Ooh, and then there goes his gate.
Man, those are some pretty big chunks coming out of the crystal as well. I don't know if it's in double damage mode or if Anubis' squats just hit that hard, because that took his crystal down 13% in like 3 shots.
Yeah, that is not something you want to see.
Let's see. Preston's entered double damage mode. He's got the enemy crystal at 25%, so as soon as he picks an energy attack, if he wants to, he's got the Scotty over there just kind of chilling right now, so he's just okay. I mean, he's got a water route to deal with, so it's not going to be super quick, but I think he should be able to power through that with the super effective damage and take down that crystal pretty quickly here. Meanwhile, Josh has lost both of his gates, so he's running into some issues.
He is, but it looks like he's going to start actually using some of that energy elixir now, so that should help him out quite a bit.
He's got the Shield Maiden ready. He hasn't spawned it yet. I thought he was maybe waiting for the boss to stop attacking, which I'm assuming he was, because as we talked about, the attacks will ramp up damage the more reps you do, so you don't want your Shield Maiden. You don't want to spend all that energy elixir and then watch your Shield Maiden just get one shot. Unfortunately for Josh, now him and the AI are both in double damage mode, so those Shield Maidens with those level 30 lightning bolts probably aren't going to last very long.
This is true. But it's better to get something out there right now.
Yeah,
With no gates and your crystal at 57, you got to put something on the field.
and he's got to start pumping that damage, try and take down a gate, get a crystal. That'll reset the map, so then he'll full, he'll get his gates back. Tied with the AI right now, and then I think those Shield Maidens, unfortunately, I can't tell if one of them or both of them are still alive, but I'd have to think in double damage mode. Neither of those are going to last very long.
Yeah, they don't have that much of a chance to last through double damage, especially with the level that the boss is at this point.
See Preston, he did get that second crystal, so he has reset. He's got a bunch of minions just beating down his left gate. Seems to be what Anubis likes to do here, and for right now, he's just sitting on a rock, dude. Gonna wait for that cold fusion attack to stop going through so it doesn't get one shot, and then he'll spawn that, I'm guessing, start dealing with all of those minions over there.
Yeah, he is waiting for the right timing right now. And as much as it looks like there's just chaos over on the left side there, they don't do very much damage individually, so he definitely has some time.
There's just so many. I have never seen that many minions just all huddled up. But yeah, I mean, you can see they're all beating that gate down. It's only at 33%, and now if he goes with an AoE attack, yeah, it looks like he's going with the cold fusion again. They're just all gone. Just like that.
Yep.
Meanwhile, looks like Josh has gotten through that left side gate. He's got the crystal at 95%, putting out some spark crows down there. Unfortunately, his Shield Maidens did kind of get destroyed.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it on Josh's screen. There's 3 parts of a minion crew hitting at that crystal, and they're not doing a whole lot of damage very quickly.
No, it's more or less just it draws your fire away.
Don't know if there's anything on that left side. I know I saw for Josh the AI did summon a water owl, so I guess he's going to have to deal with that. Would explain the lap pull down there to deal with maybe a minion crew and a water owl at the same time. But Josh sitting in a pretty good shape here. If he can get that lane cleared, get some energy elixir, maybe get some lightning tigers down, he should be able to take down that second crystal. And meanwhile, Preston already got a gate down here, waiting for... Probably just, taking a little bit of break, waiting for the machine to get ready here for the chest press.
Yeah, Preston's not giving the AI any room right now.
Now Preston is, holding the AI scoreless. You can see against Josh, the AI is at 1,500. Josh just barely ahead. His crystal is dropping pretty low, though. It is at 28% and falling very quickly, and he's got something attacking on the left side. He summoned the Shield Maiden. I can't quite tell what that is on Josh's left side there that's beating down on his gate, but it's dying pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can't tell if the AI's crystal is any lower than Josh's right now.
Looks like the AI crystal is at 95%, so about 70% higher than Josh's, but I think the AI is out of energy elixir, so the only thing he can do is direct damage attack, but we've seen how hard they can hit, so he does have to be careful that he defends that gate and doesn't let it or the crystal and get one shot by the boss's attack, because there's the lightning bolts. You can see how hard those are hitting for. I think Josh might be out of luck here on this second crystal.
I think so too. Just a few more reps and that crystal's gone.
It's like he used a grenade, so he's now used both of his power-ups, took down 20% of the boss's crystal. But I think one more attack. The boss, though, kind of helping Josh out. It's building a fire tower instead of just attacking. So it did give him a little bit of time here to start just summoning a ton of lightning tigers and send it all down and start dealing damage to that crystal. So Josh, it's going to be really close for Josh. I mean, his crystal's at 6%, the boss is at 60, but he has a chance here.
He does.
Really just depends if the boss goes for dirt. Now the boss is summoning a sunbird. Josh might be able to just power through this with the squats here. He said he felt good last time he did it. It's going to come down to a couple of percent here.
Yeah, that's really, really cutting it close.
Oh, he barely 2%.
Wow.
Wow.
That was amazing.
The AI, I say, bailed him out a little bit. It built the flame tower and then tried to build a sunbird when all it had to do was probably queue up any exercise attack at all. But he did say, as the fight goes on, the AI does go a little bit easier on you. And that time the AI went a little easier and allowed Josh to get his second crystal. Unfortunately, I think Preston was able to pick up his third crystal while all of that was going on.
Yeah, it does look like he's just clipping away right there. You know, if the AI played like a human, we would be in a world of hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one benefit is, you know, we were talking about the levels on the champions. I don't think any champion that a human can have can get above level 20. Some can't even get above level 10. So there is definitely a slight advantage in the computer. But yeah, if they can play like a human, I don't think anyone would ever win any of these battles. So it is sort of, you know, a little bit of give and take. We make them really strong to make up for their lack of strategy sometimes.
Exactly.
See Preston, he's got 2 Scotties, and I can't quite tell what's down attacking the crystal, but that crystal is melting really quickly right now already. He's almost gotten his 4th crystal down, and there's still 10 minutes left in this battle.
Yeah, and he's just not giving an inch right now.
He's got a water owl to deal with, but as long as your exercise attack is targeting the crystal, it won't have to be retargeted to a champion. So as long as he can kill it here in this lap pull down, which he can, he'll be fine. And now he's up to 4 crystals. I will say, I do think that Josh is kind of a little bit unlucky. I'm not sure I've seen Anubis summon a big Sue against Preston.
I don't think we have either.
So that is, I mean, it is kind of all random in a sense what the AI, there's fine, all right, right on cue. The AI, it hurt me, scarily enough, and it was like, all right, fine, let's make Preston work for this one. Now we're going to summon our big Sue for the first time.
You know, in some of my battles that I do that aren't even, you know, these crazy boss battles, I end up with like 2 big Sues or 3 shield maidens coming at me, and I'm like, hey, what's going on?
There was one time where they didn't summon a shield maiden, and then like 10 minutes they summoned 2 of them. I was like, no, let's calm down here, AI. Like, I don't want to deal with the shield maidens. Put them away.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, with the big Sues blowing up when they die, it's just, it brings a whole nother element to everything. So it's like, yeah, I don't want the walking bomb coming towards me.
I just don't want to deal with it. But yeah. Preston powered through it pretty fast as well. Looks like he had the chest press all ready to go. I'm wondering if Josh is waiting for maybe... He's got his rock dude out, but I was going to say, I wonder if he wanted to use his Firebird just to clear the whole area. We haven't seen either competitor use their sidekick yet, which right now, the only one available is the Firebird, which just does like a big, wide map clear. So it is kind of a nice get-out-of-jail-free card. It
is indeed. It'll be interesting to see when or if these competitors choose to use that.
Does look like Josh, he's got another rock dude ready to go. He is going to lose that right side gate, so he's got to be careful, but it's just a bunch of minion crews out right now. And there's another big Sue, so it's the second one that Josh has had to deal with right now, and maybe it would be a good time for that Firebird, or maybe he's just going to wait for a chest press here and deal with the big Sue the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not exactly sure what he's going for right now.
He's got the Spark Crows, and he's queued up the Bicep Crow, which is just a Tesla coil, so looks like he's just going to let the Rock Dude and the Spark Crows deal with the Big Sue for the most part.
And the Rock Dude will keep Big Sue busy, that's for sure.
Okay, we are under 10 minutes left. Like we said, total crystals destroyed is the first win condition. Preston sitting pretty comfortably, 4-2. He did just get a reset, destroying that 4th crystal, and Josh is losing that gate right now, but should be able to, maybe with the help of this turret, start to be able to work on getting that third one.
Yep, and then it looks like over here Preston is putting the title back out.
Okay, you got the 3 Scotties, a title.
Ah, and a Shira.
I have not seen a Shira.
I have not seen one in a while either. I don't even remember the last time she was in my deck.
I think I got rid of her the moment that I got an extra champion. I was like, okay, goodbye.
Exactly. I choose to use Ember.
Shira she's a nice starter, but you know,
There's better options.
there definitely is better options. So I would love to hear why Preston opted for the Shira and brought it out here. And I mean, right now, I mean, it is the Scotties doing most of the work, so maybe he just had the energy elixir and wanted something to soak some damage up, because those Scotties will just get one shot. They are very, very glass cannon.
They really are.
And, you know, like I've seen, like, you know, a minion even come down and start whittling. I'm like, no, go away, minion. Like, stop.
I don't know, it looks like Preston's already through another gate and working on that crystal with the hysterical reps.
Oh man, he is. Each attack of his doing about 4%. He's got the 3 Scotties as well. He might even have, no, I think that minion crew's hitting on the title. So I think there's a world where he could just wait for his champions to take down the rest of that crystal, and he's just going to summon another minion crew, because your energy elixir does reset as well when the round it goes back up to 1800. So he's just going to waste that rest of the energy elixir and get himself a nice little break here and take down his 5th crystal of the match.
Yeah, he's definitely not slowing down here. And then Josh looks like he's getting ready to put Shield Maiden back out.
Ooh, didn't get it out in time, unfortunately. It does feel like the AI has been doing, I mean, maybe that just speaks to how well Preston's been handling it, but it does feel like the AI has been doing a lot more damage to Josh's gates than it has been to Preston's.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing to see, is if Preston's taking care of them before they even get across the field, it is hard to notice. But I think you might be right. Josh might have got a few more tanks than Preston had to deal with. The other thing, too, is you can keep the AI from building the tank by the champions that you end up deploying and the timing of doing it.
Huh.
And if you can keep the AI from building a tank, then you're sitting way better.
Yeah, the tanks, they have a ton of health, as the name mentioned. So, yeah, that is kind of interesting. I don't know if maybe Preston had that game plan ready, where it's if I build certain things and deploy certain champions, I can stop the Big Sues. They both have Big Sues going up against them now, and they're both deciding to build for the Flame Turret to kind of help with that slow chip damage on the Big Sue.
Exactly.
Let me put it this way. I saw one summoned against Preston. I don't know what happened to it. I don't see it anymore. I'm assuming it had to be there because he just used the Firehawk. So I'm guessing it was there, maybe just off screen. So he's going to get all of that energy elixir, and now he can start setting up his own Rock Dude and his Scotties.
Yeah, and knowing Preston, he is going to throw out as many Scotties behind that Rock Dude as he can.
He's got enough energy elixir for, it looks like, another one. So he'll have 3 of them behind that Rock Dude. Does look like Josh has also used his Firehawk. Doesn't look like that sidekick's available to him anymore, so he was able to kind of deal with it. And now if he can get through this turret and that minion crew, and now a Boulder Bell coming his way, he can start working on that 3rd crystal, at least get a gate down. I mean, as he mentioned, his goal was to beat the AI in points, and for him it's coming down to the wire. Preston right now is he's treating the AI like he's the AI at this point.
He really is.
That's a 6th crystal for Preston now. 9,000 to nothing. That is, I'll be honest, I don't even think we've seen Preston put up this impressive of a score. The AIs, you usually got like a gate off of him, I think, in our previous matches. I mean, 9,000 to nothing is pretty wild here in the semifinals.
That's insane. I mean, on a normal match, that's an insane score.
Yeah, I mean, to let the AI get 0 points, especially with what we've seen the power of what the AI can do against Josh, and it feels like it's almost always destroying one of his gates. And it's just blown my mind that Preston has held him scoreless. He's got a Big Sue and a minion crew walking at him, though. Interesting that he put that Scotty out right away with, I guess he has the Flame Turret to protect it, but still, that's kind of an interesting strategy you don't see very often.
Yeah, that makes me nervous. But, you know, you can use them as cannon fodder, so.
That is true. Kind of just soak up a couple of attacks. he's just spending all of his energy elixir. I mean, we've seen both competitors kind of do the save strat where you just save to 4,000 or so energy elixir and then start spending. And right now, I don't know if Preston maybe wants to try and get that 7th crystal and break 10,000, but he's spending all of his energy elixir on these minion crews just right away.
He is, and it looks like Josh has a lot to deal with right now. He looks like he's going for air attack, but he's got a... I don't think he's got a big suit. Yeah.
Big Sue, a Sunbird, quite a few minion crews on both sides.
Yeah.
He's got the lat pull down, set up, which unfortunately... Oh, and he's got a Boulder Bell.
Ah, there goes his gate. Oh, no.
Well, this AoE should do decent damage to the minion crews. It's not going to be super effective against the Rock Dude, the Sunbird, or the Boulder Bell. So those are going to be things he's going to have to deal with. That right now his crystal is starting to... It's already dropped almost 30%, so he's going to need something here, and he's out of power-ups and sidekicks, so he's going to need something here quickly to take care of all of this.
Yeah, you know, a trusty Lightning Tiger's not a bad idea. You just get something down there at the other end.
Yeah, it's, that'll be the work as the kind of the cannon fodder you were talking about. They can usually take 1 or 2 hits from the enemy's attacks.
Yeah, because right now the last thing Josh wants is having the AI being able to target him directly.
He's got that Big Sue at just above 50%.
And Preston took down another gate.
He's still doing hysterical reps with 28 minutes in, which is just absolutely insane to me that he's still able to pull that off. Double damage against Josh probably means, unfortunately, he's going to lose this crystal here.
Yeah, there. Oh no, there it goes.
He might be able to get the tie. We have seen a couple people go through a gate and a crystal in less than 2 minutes.
This is true.
It's possible. It's going to take, I think, some help from the AI. If the AI doesn't summon a Big Sue, which it doesn't look like it is because it's summoning a Water Owl, he has maybe a long shot at least tying things up here for the AI. I don't think he's going to get close to Preston because I don't know if we've ever seen anyone get close to Preston throughout this whole tournament. I don't know if we've ever seen anyone hit 10,000. And he's got the enemy crystal at 63% with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. He should be able to get to 10,000 here pretty quickly.
He really should. I think at this point, Preston's just trying to beat his own scores.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, you know, we're going to have to make a boss that just counters Preston.
Yeah, I would actually really love to see that.
Because, I mean, he's got it at 6%. 1 more rep's going to do it. Yeah, that is the first time in our Winter Invitational we have seen anyone hit 10,000 points, which is just insane. I mean, I'm not really sure if there's another competitor who... I'll be curious to see the final, because I don't know who's going to be able to match up to what Preston is doing right now.
Oh, yeah, and not even to give the AI didn't even get a gate.
Yeah, the AI held scoreless. I don't think we've seen anyone hold the AI scoreless. I don't think we've never seen anyone hit 10,000.
Yep, Preston's definitely setting records today, so whoever he's facing next is probably already nervous.
Yeah, if I'm Mr. Mojo or Barrett, who we haven't seen Barrett on the stream yet, so maybe he's put up 10,000. I guess we haven't seen 10,000 on the stream. Don't know what they've done off stream. So
this is true.
I don't know who's gonna. One of them's gonna be in for just an absolute handful. But right now, it is really impressive to see what Preston's been doing. And Josh, unfortunately, he said in the pregame interview that he didn't want to start out too strong and then sort of fade at the end, but unfortunately, it kind of looked like what happened because he got the first 2 crystals and then the boss got 3 more, and the boss is going to take the victory. But we see here on Preston's screen in the final seconds that he's going to wrap this one up with a complete shutout and domination over the boss.
He really is.
So,
there we go.
Yeah, big shout out to Preston.
Yep.
Josh did everything he could, and I mean, I'll be honest, he said he was skiing and everything. I went skiing and I was like, there's no way I can come. I mean, I can go skiing and then go back to Black Box that day. So, I mean, you know, it was a good effort, but I mean, I don't know who's going to match up Preston. That was one of the best performances I've ever seen for Black Box, ever.
You know, I think just Preston's just been on a kick lately.
Don't forget the Black Box VR Winter Invitational is supported by Bang Energy. If you're looking for something to fuel your next workout or hike, or if you want sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. We've got quite a bit of them up here on the stage. I've got 4 of them here, and I think you've got a couple over there for you as well, Amber.
I do, and today I'm in a celebratory mood. It's the birthday cake bash.
Ooh.
Tomorrow is my 10-year-old's birthday.
Nice.
He'll be turning 10, so happy birthday, Porter. And trying the birthday cake for you. It's weird. Not bad weird. It's just like liquid cake.
That's not what I want to hear. I'll have to try. I'm going to have to find that one at the store next time, because I'm a big fan of, like, if I can get anything birthday cake flavored, I like it, like birthday cake ice cream. So I'm going to have to definitely try and find birthday cake. I've got, like, let's see, I've got peach mango, which I think I might try. I saw that one at the store the other day. I've got cherry blade. I've got blue raz, which I know people are a big fan of. And then I have black cherry vanilla, which I think Koba, who, of course, if you watch Boise State a lot, you know who he is. Not Koba, said his is his favorite. It's also my girlfriend's favorite as well. So, or should I say, I'm sorry, the fiance's favorite. I will get in a lot of trouble when I go home for missing that one up.
Yeah,
so
don't do that.
Hopefully she missed the stream. Hopefully she tuned out. So, but that is her favorite as well. But they are really good. They're really interesting. I will say this. My favorite part is some of them are simple, like peach mango, and then some of them have like rainbow unicorn surprise. And I'm like, what is that? Why can't we just have a normal flavor?
Exactly. So, yeah, if you're a birthday cake fan, this does taste like vanilla birthday cake.
Perfect. You know, my birthday's not until December, so I have to have something to at least, hold me over until then. But right now, what's holding us over is, can anyone stand up to Preston? Is the first question, because that is absolutely incredible that he put up 10,000 points against the AI that is supposed to be the hardest AI they faced all tournament.
Yeah, the bosses are increasingly getting harder. So I don't know what changes or if changes are going to be made. There's one move that Preston utilized, and we might have to make some adjustments for that, because when you do a hysterical berserk on your Scotties, it turns them into like super powered turrets. And that's just how he could melt those crystals so quickly. So something that we might want to consider going forward into the next boss.
I don't remember if it was a hysterical berserker day or not, but I did use at least a supercharged berserk. Maybe it was hysterical, and I definitely noticed that. I had 3 of them, and I was like, I don't even have to do anything. Like, I could go out, get some water, and come back. Like, it was absolutely incredible. So, yeah, now that you mention it, I can kind of see why he was able to do so much damage. But still, that doesn't explain how he had 0 gates destroyed. That's almost the more incredible part to me.
Yeah. Keeping the AI at 0 is really hard to do.
Well, Preston's going to be in the final. Josh will still be in the 3rd place matchup, and hopefully he's able to take down the boss in that. That'll be coming up on next Friday. We have one more match here. It's our 2nd semifinal. It's between Mr. Mojo, who we got our first glimpse at last time. Of course, it's been a little while since we had this because all of the holidays and the new year. We wanted to give them a little break. You don't want to make a guy come in on Christmas, but sorry, family, can't celebrate. I got to go take on a boss. That won't go over well at all. So
exactly.
I like Mr. Mojo's strategy. He was kind of the one who introduced us to like the all-out like minion crew lightning tiger. He kind of dipped out the Scotties and the tanks, so I'll be curious to see him. But before we get to that, we have our post-game interview here from the matchup between Preston and Josh. Never mind, doesn't sound like we have it. Looks like we were just showing. Wait, here we go.
I felt really good for the first 22 minutes. My strategy was working out perfectly, and I just mistimed just by a few seconds. I had just used a Firehawk, ended up basically throwing that away, and lost the crystal. If I had gotten that one, that would have been 3 crystals. I think I could have been in striking distance for a 4th, but that was a pretty serious setback. So after that, it was kind of watching the clock run down, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me a little bit about Anubis, the AI, the opponent you faced up against today.
Yeah, definitely saw Big Sue.
Okay.
Especially towards the end, I just couldn't get through Big Sue. Too much, couldn't string together enough exercises in a row. But I think what was interesting was we definitely got a minion crew rush. I haven't seen that before. There were a lot of minions out there. at the same time. And the thing that throws you there is you want to use an area of attack against the minions. But if you got Big Sue with like 30 minions around him, then it's like, well, now you have to put together 2 sets right back to back. One to get the area of attack to get rid of the minions, and then the other one for Big Sue. Yeah.
Definitely.
I was pretty worn out at that point.
Yeah. We'll finish on this one, Josh. Is there anything you would have done differently looking back at how the round went down?
Yeah, no, this time I was actually really happy with my strategy. I was going to wait it out, not get in a hurry, take them as they came. And I look at what happened last round. I went 10 minutes in and lost a crystal. So I was a crystal down, and I'd wasted a third of the workout. This time it went much better for me. I got 2 crystals early, and I was on pace. I had time to get maybe another couple of them and put in 4. I don't know that that's going to be enough for Preston, but that was a target of mine. And like I said, I thought I had a little bit longer. I wanted to absorb a little bit more damage and catch my breath. And I busted out my move a little bit too late and let him take my crystal down.
All right, well, 4 crystals, that's pretty good.
I got 2.
Oh, you got 2?
4.
You wanted 4. My bad, I can't do math. But anyways, Josh, good effort today. And back to you guys.
And I think Josh, he kind of realized that he was taking a lot more damage than Preston was. And he even said, you heard in the interview, he thought he could sustain a little bit more. And so I would have been curious to see if his strategy would have pulled off, how it would have gone, because I think he had it right. If he had maybe 15% more on his third crystal, he might have been able to get that one and not lose it, and then that kind of started a downward spiral for him, unfortunately.
It really did, and there's just a limit to like how much damage that you can end up sustaining through, but hey, he stuck with it.
Yeah, he'll have, like I said, he's still got the third place match next week. But now we're going to hear from Preston, who at this point, I would just assume he's the boss because of what he just did with the 10,000-0 wins. Let's hear what Preston has to say after his performance.
Finished sound like a grueling arena battle, or I guess you really shut him out. How'd you feel about your performance today?
You barely talk, man. Good workout. Just really went for it. Obviously I wanted to beat Josh, but kind of looking forward to Barrett moving on to the championship and I've been watching him, so I know he's been doing really well. Definitely. And so mixed up my strategy, used some minions, and seemed to work.
Good deal. Well, tell us a little bit about your strategy going through the match. Did you change anything throughout the course of the match, or did you stick with your original strategy?
I've been trying to do less buildings because I want to get the higher volume.
Right. Okay.
Just in case there's a tiebreaker. So I think I only built 1 building today, which obviously, I was doing a lot more exercises.
Yeah.
So pretty gassed, pretty tired, but I think that was a good strategy overall. And then really paid attention to the AoE stuff today because they had minions everywhere. So just grabbing that cold fusion like I was thinking, and it worked.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, we'll let you get some rest, Preston. Thanks for the interview. And real quick, can you give us 10 push-ups?
No.
Extra credit. All right.
I can lay down.
Back to you guys. We'll let Preston take a nap.
I like the very casual. Yeah, I changed up my strategy and it worked.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that seems like a Preston thing.
Yeah, it definitely worked. You shut out the bot. You shut out poor Anubis here. At this point, can we just say boss stats Preston and just show what he's using? Because Anubis felt like the training dummy at that point.
It really did. Preston kind of cleaned the floor with him.
Well, we've still got our 1 match left. We've got Mr. Mojo and Barrett. Like we said, we haven't seen Barrett on the stream, so I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. Mr. Mojo kind of shocked us just a little bit, or at least me, because he had the more aggressive, start throwing out a bunch of lightning tigers, start throwing out some sunbirds really, really early, as opposed to the save up all your energy elixir and then throw everything at it. So I'll be really curious to see. We see the boss stats once again. This is what all the players are dealing with there. It's mainly the Big Sue and the minion crew that we saw in that last match that he is a very, very big fan of. A couple water owls, and I don't know if we ever even saw Whirlwind more at all from him on either game.
No, I don't think she came out at all.
Yeah, we saw 1 Boulder Bell at the very end against Josh, but it's mainly dealing with that Big Sue, as Josh mentioned in his post-game interview, where it's when it gets stacked up with that minion crew, then it becomes really, really hard. So it's our final match here of the night in the 2020 Black Box VR Winter Invitational, the semifinals. We've got our finals next week. Who is going to be taking on Preston? We've got Barrett. We've got Mr. Mojo. Do you have any expectations for either of these? Because I haven't had a chance to see Barrett on the stream. I don't know if you've had a chance to see him when he comes in and works out.
Barrett, well, they're kind of, there's a few people there that, I mean, everybody works out really hard. But as far as it coming down to, like, figuring out the meta and strategy and timing, they have him and his brother just always have these ridiculously high scores in their regular battles. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he pulls off today.
Well, I mean, if they want to set a ridiculous high score, it'd be 11,000 points. It's just, it's just that simple. You just got to take down 7 crystals if you want to match Preston. But yeah, I'll be really curious. I think Mr. Mojo had a pretty strong performance when we saw him in the quarterfinals. I'm going to be interested to see if he comes out with this same strategy of spamming the Lightning Tigers, spamming the Sunbirds, or if he maybe changes it up now that he has to deal with the Big Sioux and the Minion crew. But now let's go to our pre-match interview with Mr. Mojo.
Going into the semifinal round of the Winter Invitational, got a few questions before you head into the booth. Are you stoked for today's battle? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, totally pumped, 100%. I'm ready to do it.
Good deal. What's been your preparation? What has that been like going into this battle in particular?
The last couple weeks that I've come in, I've just done them fasted, just to kind of see where I'm at. So today I actually ate, tried to energize myself, and so I changed up my nutrition routine. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, what'd you eat?
Let's steak, potatoes, chicken, and then I made myself a berry smoothie.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a champion meal there. Well, what are your thoughts going into today's battle with the opponent, Anubis, the AI?
As usual, the AI is going to do what I want it to do. So Anubis looks like a really strong boss, according to the email that I read from Jim. So yeah, I'm just going to go in and bring my all. So
definitely, good deal. And then you're going against Barrett today. That's your opponent. What are your thoughts on Barrett? What are your feelings towards him?
I'm pretty sure Barrett's a strong opponent, but like I told you, I like to compete, and so
get out of the way.
All right, we'll start that question over.
Okay. Sorry, dude, I didn't mean that. It was for comic relief.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, ask the question again.
All right. So let me ask you, Mr. Mojo, and we'll finish on this one. This may be the most important question. How do you feel about your opponent, Barrett?
I know Barrett's a legend around here, but, I like to compete. And so, I know Barrett's, super strong, but I like to compete. So I'm ready to push myself and get the win. So, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we're all very excited to see what you do here, Mr. Mojo. Thanks for the time. And back to you guys.
I like Mr. Mojo's confidence of the boss is going to do exactly what I want it to do. Like, he feels like he's in complete command, where I feel like I have no idea what the boss is going to do, and I just start panicking anytime it does anything. I'm like, no, please, don't do that. Just stop.
Exactly. And he did reference, Barrett being a little bit of a legend, and the Law brothers have been with Black Box for a long time, and they have set a lot of standards and expectations for a lot of other members, and they've helped a lot of members along the way, too. So yeah, it'll be interesting seeing these two go up against each other.
Yeah, that is actually one of the things that is nice about Black Box, is that it does feel like everyone's like super nice to each other whenever I've gone in. If you're there, whoever's running the desk, like, oh, how'd it go? You usually talk about, what did you do? So I do think it is a very friendly environment. So I actually really enjoy going down to Black Box. Like I said, I'd highly recommend you check it out. If you're in Boise, they're down in the Zions Bank building in downtown. It is a ton of fun. And you're basically playing a video game and working out. And if you do it enough, you'll just look like Preston. I mean, that's the plug, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. You come to Black Box, you become Preston.
Exactly. You become the boss. I'm waiting for them to give like Preston, or maybe if he loses in the championship, I feel like the winner of this overall should have a boss named after him. I think that would be the greatest honor.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This time we have 2 pregame interviews. Let's go to the Barrett one. Let's hear from Barrett for the first time in this whole tournament.
Heading into the semifinal round here at the Black Box Winter Invitational.
Oh, yeah.
Are you stoked for today's battle, Barrett?
Yeah, I've been super nervous, excited for the past couple of days, just prepping for this and thinking about it all. It's gonna be awesome.
Good
Hopefully.
deal. What's kind of been your preparation going into this battle in particular? Have you given yourself a rest, or have you had some workouts in between your last round, or what? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I actually was planning to come work out yesterday, but then when I heard about that we had our next battle coming up, I decided to give myself an extra rest day.
Okay.
I had a soccer game I played on Thursday, and today's Saturday, so anyway, I had a workout Wednesday, give myself a few days, and feeling good. Hopefully it's going to work out.
Good deal. So you sound like you're rested up and ready to go. No excuses, right?
No excuses.
Well, going into the battle today, the AI Anubis, what are your thoughts towards him? Are you prepared for what he's got to throw at you?
I think so. My main concern is Big Sue. It's a really high-level Big Sue, so I prepped a lot on my chest press, thinking about how I'm going to use it and making sure I can do a high volume on it. And I think I've got that pretty well figured out. So as long as I can hang in there with my chest press, knock out those Big Sues, I think I can deal with the rest of the champions. And then his attacks are pretty strong, but they're not more strong than I faced in the past, so I think I can deal with it. That's my hope anyway.
Yeah, I saw there on the board we got some level like 30, 34 attacks that are going to be coming your way, but good thing you're prepared for that. Let me ask you this question. How do you feel about, you're going up against Mr. Mojo, how do you feel about your opponent?
Man, he is a beast at deadlifts. I look at his battle log sometimes, and he'll do like 55,000 pounds of deadlifts.
Yeah.
And so he does some other exercises too, but you know, deadlifts aren't going to help very much with this one, with the Big Sue being so strong.
All right.
And so I'm hoping with I think I can do more chest press. I think I can do more fire attacks. And I'm hoping with that I'll be able to beat him and beat his scores and get more crystals. And with superior strategy, that's my plan.
Oh, of course, definitely. Well, thanks, Barrett. Let's hop to it and get you in the booth. Good luck today.
All right, thank you.
Back to you guys.
I will say, I think the one thing, and I don't know if Josh fell into this as well, on paper, the chest press looks pretty good. It's actually the overhead press, the AoE fire attack, I feel like they've got to prioritize because Josh mentioned it. There's a Big Sue, and then there's 15 minions around it, so the chest press doesn't always hit what you want it to hit.
This is very true. And so utilizing those AoEs, and especially the overhead press, are very crucial.
Yeah, we did hear Preston mention in his postgame that he wanted us to kind of spam the deadlift. So I don't know if that'll help out for Mr. Mojo. I don't know if he has the same strategy, but it is an AoE attack, so it does kind of take down those minion crews, as you mentioned. They're not going to be crit by anything. They're not super effective damage, but they are still minions, so they do die pretty quickly. I think I saw most of them just kind of get one shot. I don't know if that's just how high of attacks that the players have or what, but I think it's going to be curious to see how well the AoE attacks go, because the chest press looks great on paper until there's 20 minions and a Big Sue, and you're just one-shotting little minions instead of hitting Big Sue.
Exactly. You don't want to end up doing that.
And I'll be really curious. The one thing we don't ever talk about as we hop into this is the power-up selection. I mean, you mentioned the hysterical Berserk that Preston uses. I'm curious to see if everyone else uses Berserk or if they use, we saw a couple grenades come out from Josh. I'd be curious to see what power-ups these guys are running here. As we see, there's Mr. Mojo with that aggro Sunbird right away.
Yeah, he likes to throw his champions right out there as quickly as possible.
It's like Barrett's going just for the standard soak everything. Looks like he's got a water owl running his way and a minion crew. And unfortunately for Mr. Mojo having the same luck as Josh, he's got a Big Sue to deal with right off the gate.
But like, they were saying, with Mr. Mojo is known for his deadlifts, and he can deadlift for days. So even if it is the same element, once you hit hysterical, it's going to cause a lot of damage. So that will be probably his fallback for a lot of these tanks.
Yeah, looks like he started with the squat. Now he's going to take out the deadlift. Looks like he has lost the Sunbird, which is going to give the energy elixir over to the AI. So now the AI is going to be able to get a water owl out as well. But, Mr. Mojo does not care. He's going to start summoning all those lightning tigers.
There they go. All right. Barrett is not wasting any time either.
No, he ripped through that water owl and minion crew pretty quickly.
I'm curious what he's going to send out here with Rock Dude.
I'll be curious to see what he has with him. The other thing is what kind of champions. There's the Spark Crows. He's got a Scotty and a Lightning Tiger, all pretty standard from what we saw in our last match. Kind of like the 3 or 4 go-to DPS champions right now.
Yeah, that tank and Spark Crow mix it's really actually very helpful. I've been using it more in my own battles. I don't have the timing down as much as the Law Brothers do, but I'm slowly figuring it out.
Do you see Mr. Mojo's already lost a gate? That Big Sue plus minion crew just kind of ripped right through it. So he is already down 500 points. He's got, I think, a Boulder Bell charging his way now because the energy elixir kind of just changes hands. When you summon a creature and then it gets destroyed, either the boss gets all of it, or if you're destroying the boss's creatures, you get all of it. So that is the one downside to Mr. Mojo's aggressive strategy, is if his Lightning Tigers and Sunbirds don't live long, he's just kind of handing energy elixir back to the AI, and Anubis is just going to be able to summon things like Ember and Boulder Bell.
Exactly. There is that whole strategy of just don't give the AI any elixir. I mean, unless you have the exercises to back it up. So we'll see how he does here. I mean, it's down a gate, but still early.
I didn't remember noticing this last time Mr. Mojo plays. Maybe I was just so blown away by the Lightning Tiger spam, but Barrett is right. His deadlifts, I mean, I think this is his 3rd straight deadlift set. And you can see as soon as the deadlifts hit the max rep, because you can only do 25 reps per time, he immediately has his hand ready to go right over the deadlift just to run it back once again.
And that's got to be something to do with his past in track and field. Like, he just can do legs for days.
Yeah, I don't think I know there's like some daily quests you can get, and they'll be like, do this exercise 3 times in a row, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to even think about that. I mean, it's just deadlift, but Mr. Mojo could clearly do that daily for deadlift any day of the week.
I've tried that lat pull down one, the 3 in a row, and nah, I got to the second, halfway through the second one, was like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I've had that as well, where I'm like, no, I'm not going to do 3 rows in a row. I'll do 1, and then I'll get back to it, but I'm not going to do that.
Yep.
And then some of them are like, win a game without just playing a champion. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that one either. Like, what do you mean?
I have seen the aftermath of that, and that's usually someone laying on the floor whimpering.
I had one a day that was like, have no champion, or have the winner round without a champion dealing damage to any of your gates. And I would get so close, and then I'd get like a last-second Scotty out. It would just hit my gate once, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Like, what are you doing, AI? Just let me get this.
Yeah, those daily challenges, those are hard.
Do see, looks like Mr. Mojo has stabilized, and he's kind of gone with the strategy that we sort of realized, is that the mini crew doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so you can kind of just ignore him on that left side there. Now he gets double damage as well. He's, I don't want to say sitting in a good spot, because he still has his crystal at 50%. Meanwhile, now we go back to split screen. We do see Barrett has gotten the first crystal of the match, so we missed whatever Barrett did, but it worked out really well.
It really did.
Now he's got to deal with the Big Sue, but luckily he got to that chest press early enough, so he just immediately destroyed it before the minion crew became too much of an issue, and that kind of feels like the strategy.
Yeah, I mean, that Big Sue didn't even get halfway down the field before he took him out.
Just the amount of damage that I think that was the squats for Mr. Mojo. As you can see, he's just ready to go. He's going to put the deadlift in right away. He's destroyed the gate. He's got the enemy crystal at 70%. Those squat damages were hitting for like 7% per attack, which is pretty wild, honestly.
Yeah, those are hitting really hard.
He's going to put a Sunbird down. He's going to put a minion crew as well. Only downside is the AI did get a water route out on that right side for Mr. Mojo, so he's going to have to deal with that water route, and he's got a Big Sue and a minion crew, so he's in a little bit of trouble, but not too much. Meanwhile, it looks like Barrett, he's dealt with everything, and he's going to start summoning that rock dude, and this time now I'm going to be curious to see what he puts behind it. Last time I was focused in on Mr. Mojo, but didn't see what his strategy was. There's the Spark Crows, like you mentioned. Kind of the meta right now.
And then let's see what he goes. Yep. Yeah, that just covers all your bases. Once you got an aerial unit, you got a tank, you got a ranged unit. It's a lot. It overwhelms the AI, and it's a fast way to take out the gate.
Yeah, they all are different types as well. That's the one issue I've kind of run into with the Shield Maiden and the Scotty combos is if one lightning bolt or wind blast comes out from the AI, it just not only crits my Shield Maiden and then will also crit and one-shot all my Scotties. So
Exactly.
I've seen that issue, so it makes sense. We do see Mr. Mojo did barely escape out, 34% left, and he's taken down his first crystals, so he's tied it up, but on point differential, he's a little bit behind here, giving up 1,000 points. Looks like he lost both of his gates last round.
And that is the hard thing, too, in the first round, because for one, heavy mode isn't available right away, so that does put everybody at a little bit of a disadvantage. So losing a gate or two at the beginning is pretty normal. And it looks like Mr. Mojo's going to go for a power-up.
There we go.
There it goes.
He's just going for the grenade right away.
Yep, he's going to weaken that gate.
Did about 20% to it. We see that Barrett has already taken down that second gate, or his first gate, so he's up to 2,000 points as well. So he's got a decent lead here on Mr. Mojo about 10 minutes into the match.
Yeah, and Barrett's rock dude's just wailing on the AI's crystal right now.
Yeah, he's actually, I noticed the AI's crystal's already down to 50%. So I'd say Barrett probably has about a 2 or 3 minute lead. It felt like he handled that first round a little bit better. I will say, unfortunately, Mr. Mojo had to deal with the Big Sue, and Barrett caught the Water Owl. So the AI did help out Barrett just a little bit in that first round. It kind of explains that 2 minute lead he has on Mr. Mojo right now.
Yeah, a Water Owl and a Big Sue are entirely two different things to deal with.
Yeah, the Water Owl just incredibly slow. All it does is kind of just drop giant ice chunks. Big Sue, I mean, we've heard it. It's not only a tank, it's going to do that AoE explosion when it dies. It also sort of weakens everything. So it does look like the gate has been destroyed by Mr. Mojo, though. So he's only about 70% behind on the crystals now. And he's going to go right to that deadlift that we heard so much about in that pre-show interview.
Yep, and in his favorite, Lightning Tiger.
Does look like he has some sort of turret to get through. He's also running, it looks like Mr. Mojo's running into some issues with the machine accepting that he wants to summon a Sunbird. The machine's trying to tell him that he's wrong. Like, that's not a rock, dude. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, right, yeah. Sometimes technology can make things a little more tricky than it needs to be.
You know, the technology maybe just trying to help out the AI. You know, there's your conspiracy theory.
There you go. The robots have already begun the uprising.
Well, unfortunately, no technology issues for Barrett, and he's up 3,000, nothing right now. Unfortunately, I don't have exactly how fast Preston did it, but I'd be curious to see if he is keeping pace with Preston's 10,000 that he ended up putting up.
It would be interesting to do a side-by-side as far as the pace and the timing.
See that I think a lot of Mr. Mojo's damage there had to go right into the turret, unfortunately. So he didn't get a lot of damage with that Sunbird and those Lightning Tigers, but now he's got the crystal exposed for Mr. Mojo, so he should be able to make quick work with this deadlift and a couple of Lightning Tigers.
Yep, his combo is very, very solid.
Meanwhile, we see the minion crew spam, clogging up Barrett's screen, but not doing a whole lot of damage. He just plowed through those with the deadlift of his own.
Yep.
Pretty effective way to do it.
And Mr. Mojo's going for a second Sunbird.
He had quite a lot of energy elixir, actually.
He really did.
Now he's just going to activate that deadlift, though. Hopefully he get. Oh, can he start attacking the crystal? Yeah, okay. He got the attacks off before the Water Owl got summoned, so he should be able to pretty much ignore this Water Owl. His Sunbird will take super effective damage from the water unit, though, but he's just going to ignore it and just try and power down that crystal. I don't know if he's going to have enough reps, though.
Yeah, he might run out of reps.
Oh, no. He also so So if you haven't gone to black box, you attack the left lane by looking left, you attack the right lane by looking right. He reset his lane he was attacking, so he started attacking right, so he unfortunately now had to hit through the water rail and that sunbird. That is really unfortunate when you're looking left the whole time and you just actually move your head like an inch, and the game's like, oh, I saw you look right there.
Yep, and then the targeting just resets itself.
Yeah, it'll target the closest thing to your gate unless you're already attacking something. Then you can just attack that until your reps end. So unfortunately, he's got to retarget the crystal. This time he's not in much danger, though. His right gate's at 28%, but he's pretty much on his way here to getting this third crystal. About 3 minutes here behind what Barrett did, who's now working on his fourth crystal, trying to take that gate down with his Rock Dude, Spark Crow, Scotty combo that we've seen time and time again from him.
Is he going for a direct? Oh, what was he grabbing?
He's just kind of letting his mid champions do the work there. Looks like Mr. Mojo should get it. One more attack. Oh, he maxed out reps at 5%. Nothing has gone right for Mr. Mojo, I feel like, this time. He got the accidental retarget. He maxed out his reps at 5%. Surprised he's not just spamming lightning tigers, though. Summon a couple more sunbirds. He's got another sunbird actually attacking the crystal, so he should be fine.
Oh, with this AI not using very many ranged units, I don't even know if there was a ranged unit in its deck. Makes it. I mean, Sunbird just makes sense.
Yeah, it looks like the Sunbird ended up taking the crystal down for Mr. Mojo, so he's got his second crystal as well. Barrett has taken down the gate, so he has now exposed Anubis's crystal and already got it down to 80% here with his Scotties, and I'm guessing his. It's kind of hard to see what's all. I just see a ton of things happening at the gate, at the crystal there for Barrett. I don't know what's still alive and what's not alive, but he's doing quite a bit of damage very quickly to that crystal.
As long as his Scotties aren't getting hit, they'll just keep whittling down that crystal really quickly.
I do think that the only problem Mr. Mojo is really running into is that the boss is almost as hyper-aggressive as he is.
Yes.
So I remember in an interview he said the reason he summons all these lightning tigers and sunbirds is to distract the enemy tanks. Well, there's no tanks to distract when Anubis is just spamming minion crews the whole time.
Right.
So it does kind of counteract that hyper-aggro strategy that Mr. Mojo pulled off so well. And yeah, as you can see, the minions just can't hit that sunbird, so they just run right past them.
Yep. And then that way the sunbird can just keep, working on the gate or the crystal down there.
It's like a Boulder Bell's coming out. If Mr. Mojo wants to try and kill it with those hysterical squats, it would be critting since she is a fire unit. But it looks like he just wanted to put as much damage on that gate as possible. Meanwhile, Barrett's just hanging out. He's got two Scotties. They're going to kill that crystal here in the next 3-4 seconds. So he's going to get his third one halfway through the match.
Yep, there goes Barrett's.
I will say that I don't see any, which there really isn't a great, water unit for what Mr. Mojo wants to do, but that is kind of slowing him down because he's not able to get that super effective damage on that Boulder Bell. He's just getting all those sunbirds out.
Yeah, I think he's just really trying to focus on getting through a gate down there.
He's got it. I can't quite see the percent. 9%. No, it's still at 91. I thought it would have been lower, but he must have put a lot of those hysterical squat reps into that Boulder Bell, so I don't see it anymore. So now he's going to get the deadlift going here, take care of those minion crews, and now he should be able to go through that gate pretty quickly.
Did Barrett already get another? No.
No.
I thought he got a gate, but nope.
He's just waiting for all these minion crews. He's got the overhead press, and he's just gonna try and power through all these minion crews, and probably the easiest energy elixir you'll ever earn when you take down a minion crew, it feels like.
I think so.
Just see it adding up just extremely quickly for Barrett. Now, it does sound like a gate's been taken down by Mr. Mojo. It does look like he's got a Tesla coil and a boulder bell on that left side, though, that he's going to have to deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that just really messes up things. He always has to put his energy into that.
Good news for him is since he is spamming so many squats and deadlifts, they are going to all do super effective damage against that boulder bell, so that'll at least be beneficial for him.
That will be.
I love how sassy the AI gets when you're waiting for them to go use an attack, and they're like, hello?
They're like, no, I'm trying to do something here.
I'm being... The AI has hysterical, super effective damage against my tank. I'm not going to just throw it out to be cannon fodder.
Exactly. I'm going to wait a second here.
Now he puts out the rock. And unfortunately, the AI did not cooperate with Barrett and actually started using cold fusion, so it's going to be doing super effective damage. But it actually looks like it's hitting the gate, so his rock dude's just going to be able to just kind of avoid a lot of that damage. Meanwhile, Mr. Mojo's starting to finally get some damage on that crystal. Gonna start spamming his sunbirds. The AI has decided that it's just, you know, sunbird fever out here for Mr. Mojo and him.
You know, I think some of his strategy might have leaked into some of our programming, because there's been so many battles I've had lately. I've just been like, the AI finally knows how to use Sunbird now. I was like, oh, you didn't know how to do that before. Stop that.
I think it's another grenade here from Mr. Mojo trying to hit that crystal. He'll land on it. So he is out of power-ups. Looks like Barrett used one at some point. Didn't see him use it. Both of them still have their sidekick available. I would think if you're Mr. Mojo, maybe next time you take the crystal down, you then immediately use your sidekick to try and just clear everything out. Because he's got some time that he doesn't need to make up, but he's got double damage. So I'm going to guess that crystal's not going to last very long against his deadlift.
I think that's a fair assumption. The crystal can't hold up when it gets to hysterical.
Yeah, I know. He was
there it goes.
5 to 6% every attack. That's some insane damage. Mr. Mojo gets his third crystal. Unfortunately, right as he does that, Barrett picks up a gate. So Barrett's still in the lead in points, and Barrett's point differential over the boss, which would be the tiebreaker if they tie in crystals, is very much in his favor, as Mr. Mojo lost those 2 gates early and hasn't lost anything since.
Yeah, he's been doing really good on the defense from this point on, but again, it's just so hard in that first bit when you don't have heavy.
Yeah, Barrett has this strategy figured out. I mean, he absorbs all the energy elixir, just kind of powers through it, and then just puts out the rock dude, the spark crows, and the double Scotties, and just kind of lets them do the rest of the work on the crystal. You can see it's at 30% and going down pretty quickly here, so he's just going to take that time to build a turret and set up for the next round.
Yeah, Barrett is really good at sticking with his strategies.
Yeah, I do think that Mr. Mojo unfortunately just kind of ran into a carbon copy of himself, because he's spamming minion crew and sunbirds into other minion crews and other sunbirds. So it's not working out as we did, like we saw when the AI just starts spamming big Sues and shield maidens and these slow tanks.
Exactly.
Barrett got his 4th crystal, so he's at 6,000. I would love to see the comparison between Barrett and Preston right now. Both of them have well, Preston did shut out the boss. Barrett's doing that through the first 20 minutes. I'd love to see just how close they were in terms of their breakdowns, because it looks like Barrett's got a decent shot here. If he gets 3 more crystals in 10 minutes, it's not unheard of. He could hit that 10,000 point mark.
Oh, that's true. He could do it.
He's got to deal with that big Sue, but C's already got the fire beam ready to go here. I don't even think that big Sue's going to make it all the way to the gate.
Nope. Yeah, there he goes.
Yep.
And that's a lot of elixir to take away from the boss.
Yeah, that's good 1,400 or elixir or so. Yeah, you see he's already up, to 3,000 elixir. Probably deals with those minion crews, and he gets that 4,000. He can get his tried and true Rock Dude, Spark Crow, Scotty strategy going and take down another crystal here pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Mr. Mojo, he's
going for his second Lightning Tiger, it looks like.
Yeah, he's got the Lightning Tiger. He's got at least 1, maybe 2 Sunbirds. Unfortunately, they're all distracted by that tower right now. So he's got to deal with that. Still has to take down that gate and a crystal to tie things up with Barrett, who's got enough energy elixir to do his 4-man strategy here.
There it goes.
There's the rock dude.
And it looks like Mr. Mojo just got himself another gate.
And he's keeping pace. It was just that, unfortunately for Mr. Mojo, that first round just is where things kind of went south. Not only did he lose the 2 gates, but it took him quite a while to get through that crystal, and that's kind of that 2 or 3 minute difference we're seeing between him taking down a crystal and Barrett taking down a crystal.
And when it comes down to these battles like this, like, that can make a big difference.
Yep, you can see Barrett trying to get, there's the Spark Crows. Now he's going to put out the other Scotty. Mr. Mojo, meanwhile, has got the crystal at 73%. He's going to summon those Light Tigers, and there's a interesting Firehawk. Just gets rid of the Boulder Bell. He just did not want to have to try and spam through that much health and then get on the crystal.
And I don't blame him either. This will give him a really clear shot.
Yeah, this will give him a pretty good chance of getting a 4th crystal. Don't know if might not allow him to get a 5th one. Because, I mean, he is feeding the boss quite a bit of energy elixir with all those Lightning Tigers and all those Sunbirds. So he's going to have to go quickly here. Make the most of it.
I'm trying to see what looks like Barrett's going to build a tower.
I wonder if Barrett maybe went in a little too early with his strategy, so they weren't able. You can see the 2 Scotties are still alive. I guess they're all still alive. The AI just summoned a turret, and all of his champions decided to switch what they were attacking. But as I say, this is the slowest it feels like he's taken down a gate. No, as I say that, the gate gets taken out.
And it looks like Mr. Mojo's just taking deadlifts to the crystal again.
Yeah, he's got the hysterical reps, doing about 3 to 4% damage each time.
And now double damage.
That should be more than enough. I was gonna say, if he didn't get double damage, he might not have actually had enough reps left.
Yeah, that's true.
But the double damage does help him out, so he's once again all tied up here with Barrett with 5 minutes left in terms of crystals. Unfortunately, unless Barrett just has an absolute collapse here, I think the score differential might be what breaks any ties here.
That looks like how it's going to go down. We'll see, though.
You can also see that Barrett has the enemy crystal at 50%. He can't attack it directly, unfortunately, because he does have that flame cannon in the way, I think. Or maybe that's 2 of his own cannons. I can't quite tell if those are blue or red health bars for those 2 towers on the right side of Barrett's screen there.
Yeah, they're a little tricky to see. I know he definitely put down one of them.
It doesn't really matter at this point. He's just content letting his Scotties and Spark Crows do all the damage. A fire tower is going to get built by the AI, so those must be both be Barrett's towers there. It's not going to matter. He's going to pick up his 5th crystal, and I don't think he's going to get the 10,000 that Preston got, but he still has a chance here to maybe get into that 9,000 range in the last 4 minutes.
If he has some gas left in the tank, he definitely could pull it off.
He has the Firehawk, so if he just kind of waits around and allows the AI to summon a bunch of units, he should be able to just clear it and he gets a ton of energy elixir. I think Barrett should be able to get at least one more crystal here if he uses the Firehawk. Or maybe he's just going to power through Ember and Boulder Bell here. I've not seen a Big Sue yet, or at least in a while against Barrett, and I can see one beaten down against Mr. Mojo right now.
Yeah, Barrett has not let a Big Sue get halfway across the field.
No, he had the right strategy, as he said. Just get the fire beam rolling there, just annihilate it before it can even make it halfway across.
Mr. Mojo choosing to go with the chest press here with the straight direct attack on the minion crew is a little questionable. Overhead press might have been the way to go on that one.
He was just buying like the 2 seconds he needed, you know. He's only 27 minutes in, and he finally was like, okay, my legs need a little bit of a break from the deadlift. Because he's already got it queued up. I would have loved to have seen how many deadlifts. I mean, you heard it from Barrett. He's doing like 50,000 pounds of total volume in just deadlifts, which is just crazy to me.
It's insane. And that's the great thing about our app, too. Like, if you follow friends and you add people, you can see their battle logs and you can see their performance details and the types of volumes they're hitting on those individual exercises. It's super cool.
I think right before we went to the Mr. Mojo screen, it looked like Barrett had put some kind of berserk on his Scotties. So, I mean, you mentioned it for Preston. If you put a hysterical berserk, they just turn into basically just almost instant round winners with how fast and how much damage they do.
It really turns the Scotties into like machine guns.
So, would not shock me if using that berserk power up, I mean, even if it's just a basic berserk, it's still going to make those Scotties do a decent chunk of damage. So, I'm thinking Barrett probably should be able to pull out this crystal here in the final 2 minutes.
Probably.
See Mr. Mojo, he's working on that gate. He's got the hysterical deadlifts going. The water owl's going on the wrong lane, so he's not going to have to worry at all. Still max repping his deadlift with only 2 minutes left, and you know what? He's just going to do it again. Why not at this point?
I mean, he can still feel his legs. Look, he's standing.
Exactly. He is not just, collapsed the ground, which is just incredible. And I'd love to see, I know in the top right you can kind of see where the coins are. It'll show you how many reps people have done. I would love to see how many reps of just the deadlift he's done in this match alone. It does look like Barrett, by the way. We've gone back to him, but the 9,000 points to me says that berserk probably was a hysterical berserk. So he also now has 9,000 points, and he even used his Firehawk. So I think he's trying to maybe hit that 10,000 mark as well. I don't know if he can do it in a minute and a half, but he might have a chance.
He might, if he can pull this off.
He should be able to at least easily get the gate. He's got the 2 Scotties, he's got the Lightning Tiger and the Rock Dude.
Yeah, those should work through that gate very quickly. And of course, his gates right now are they're totally fine. So the AI has a lot to deal with down there.
Yeah, and with the Firehawk, the AI doesn't have any energy elixir left. You see, he's gone with his squats now, just putting out a ton of rep.
Oh, we're down to the last 45 seconds. Mr. Mojo just hit double damage.
He looks like also he took down a crystal as well, so he's, unfortunately looks like that gate's still actually at 18%, so I think that turret just got in his way just a little bit too quickly. I don't know if he's going to be able to get through it. Barrett, though, he got down that gate, so he's going to be close-ish to getting to that 10,000 mark.
Very close.
Think he's going to be able to do 80% of that crystal in 14 seconds, but you never know. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Mr. Mojo maybe can get the gate. No, he can't get the gate. He's still going to pull off the victory, though. But a huge shout out to Barrett. His first time on the stream, and he puts a performance in there that almost rivaled Preston. He was about 60 to 70% behind on the crystal to equaling Preston's 10,000 to 0 score, which is pretty impressive. We saw not one, but basically 2 of those tonight.
That was an insane performance as well. So hats off to Barrett for doing another shutout.
And then Mr. Mojo, he will be in the 3rd place game, and it really feels like he ran into a carbon clone of himself where it was a boss that liked to spam minion crews, and he never got to have his own sort of annoying gnats down on the other side of the field. Don't forget the Black Box VR Winter Invitational, supported by Bang Energy. If you're looking for something to fuel your next workout or hike, if you want sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. They're pretty good. I've got my peach mango, haven't opened it yet.
You should crack that thing open.
I like the water when I'm casting.
Oh, that
but I've
makes
got
sense.
it for tonight. I've got my buddies who work their normal 8 to 5 jobs. They're all getting off work. It's a Friday. We're going to stay up late, probably playing some video games, so there's no better time to pill out a bang than later tonight. But these things are pretty good. I definitely had my eyes on the peach mango, so I'm curious to give it a try. And then you mentioned the birthday cake flavor. That's what I've got to look out for next time I go to the store, because who hates birthday cake? That would be my only question.
This is true. And when I get off here, I'm going to go home, play some VR. So I wanted to make sure I had enough energy still left to get some of that done.
Yeah, well, and you said it's your 10-year-old's birthday tomorrow, so I'm sure you've got to have a ton of energy for that as well.
Exactly.
Well, let's go to our post-game interview here as we hear from one of the contestants as we just saw Barrett take down Mr. Mojo here in our second semifinal of the night.
Interview, man, it sounded like a tough one in there. How'd it go?
It went well. Not as good as I wanted, but I won.
That's good. That's good.
65 to 1,000, something like that. So it was a decent score, but I don't know. I couldn't really get it going, so I felt a little frustrated, but kept pushing through. So it was a good battle.
Okay. Well, how did you feel about your performance, like physically, going into that one, and then throughout the battle?
I felt fine. Like I said, I felt pretty good. So yeah, it went well. Everything kind of started clicking for me. I got the first crystal, which I lost the last time I battled. So that was like a point of emphasis for me to make sure I get the first crystal. So I did that. And then after that, like I said, I usually make the AI do what I want with the Lightning Tigers. So get Big Sue to stay kind of at their gate a little longer. So as I work on him. And then from there, it was just kind of repetitions. So it went
Definitely.
well.
That leads me to my next question, and we'll finish on this one, Mr. Mojo. How'd you feel about Anubis, the AI that you went up against? What did you run into with him?
Nothing really that I didn't expect. Like I said, it went the way I anticipated. I knew usually the first thing the AI likes to release is a tank unit. So I always counter that with the Lightning Tiger to keep the tank unit at their gate. Mm-hmm. Depending on like my mood, I'll usually dispatch with them with a hysterical grenade, and then after that, it's just kind of repetition. So the Big Sue came out first thing, released the Lightning Tiger, and then just went to work on it. So before he could probably get down to my gate, I had him beat already. So Anubis was kind of like the rest, and Big Sue was I think like level 35 or something like that. I noticed he liked putting out the minion crew, so I like that strategy a lot. It's something I've employed myself a few times. So it was good. Good like deal. I said, I like a challenge. So
definitely. And I would say, to be honest, I have instituted that Lightning Tiger strategy into my own personal use since the last round. So thank you for that. It makes sense. Like send the tank back down the field.
Yeah, exactly. You want to
keep got to deal with him. So that 20-30 seconds he's down there makes a big difference.
Yeah, and so like I learned that the hard way. When I first started, I got put directly into Diamond League, and so when we got to the part, the AI could use tanks, I'd just be like, there's no way I'm going to defeat those things as weak as I am right now. So yeah, that's when the Lightning Tiger came in, because that was one of the few things I had from the beginning. So I just like using it.
Well, the secret's out, guys. It's no longer a secret. Well, thanks, Mr. Mojo. Good job today. We appreciate the time, and back to you guys.
I like how he gave the boss a shout out. He realized, the boss kind of copied me. That was what I like to do with the minion crew spam.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad he noticed that it, there's a lot of the feedback and watching these battles and things, and our dev team and stuff put a lot of time and energy into thinking like, okay, if I was to make this AI act like a human, what am I going to do? So I hope he feels happy that he inspired not only hero members, but also our dev team. So
I honestly think if an AI played like Mr. Mojo, it would be one of the most frustrating things to go against. You're like, no, just stop summoning these stupid Lightning Tigers. Just summon your tanks and I'll deal with it. But yeah, I would not want to go up against an AI inspired by Mr. Mojo, because I'd be like, just stop. I'm done. I've killed so many of these Tigers. They're still just coming down. Just please stop. But I mean, he even said it. He kind of got to what he wanted to do from it. It felt like, honestly, the biggest difference is round one, Barrett got a water owl and Mr. Mojo got a Big Sue. And those, as you mentioned during it, there's quite a big health difference between those two. Well, speaking of Barrett, we have his post-game interview. I'm sure he's pretty happy with his 9,000-0 performance he put in here.
Law post arena battle, man. That sounded like a doozy in there.
Yeah, it was good. I did almost 70,000 pounds of volume, but man, I did it almost exactly how I wanted it to go. It went so well for me there.
That's insane. That's a lot of volume. I tell you what. So, what did you think about the boss, the AI Anubis? What was he throwing at you today?
He was good, but what was interesting, somehow I was able to avoid getting very many Big Sues. Like Big Sue was the tank I was worried about, but I was able to kind of avoid him a little bit. And even when I got him, I was able to do a bunch of heavy chest press and just knock him out. I was feeling so good this time, and it just all went my way, I feel like.
Good deal. Yeah, so you're definitely confident. How did you feel about just like your body, how you were performing? You sound like you're pretty happy with it.
Man, I'm way out of breath right now, but as far as like how my muscles feel, I think I could have maybe pushed a little bit more, but like I was thinking there at the end, if I would have maybe put in like a heavy chest press, if I would have been fast enough with it, there's a tiny chance I could have gotten another crystal. Gotcha. And I'm going to change my strategy just a tiny bit on my next one, and maybe it'll help me get that extra crystal I was hoping for, or maybe could have gotten.
Okay, yeah, can you shed any, I mean, don't tell us all your secrets, Barrett. We know that's like a, pay-per-view type thing, yeah. But is there anything you would have done differently with your strategy looking back at this round in particular? Yeah,
I might have to start charging coaching fees or something like that. You want to hire me for some coaching? I'll do it.
But, yeah, you better monetize that.
Yeah. But I really tried to capitalize on his weaknesses. So, like I say, whenever he did Big Sue, I did heavy bench press and just killed him as fast as I could because I knew he attacks really hard. If I let him get to my gate, he was going to take that down fast. Same with he used water owl. I made sure I was doing the rows to take it out fast.
Yeah.
And then whenever
were you on heavy setting for rows, or are you doing medium most of the time?
I was doing medium usually.
Yeah, I can't do those heavy. You're just.
I can do a few, but not as many as I'd like. So I just kept it on medium. And then anytime he used minion crew, I just was patient and I went to my area of effect. Mostly deadlift. I did quite a few deadlift, and I just crushed those minion crews with that deadlift, and then I'd go back, get my champions out, let them do their work, and sometimes I'd supplement it with like a squat or like something else to help take down that gate and that crystal. But like I say, the momentum was there, the strategy was there. I was able to just crush it this one. I'm super happy about that.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Barrett. Appreciate the interview. And just let's finish on this and keep it under 20 seconds. What advice would you give to anybody starting out at Black Box on how they can prepare for an event like this, like a tournament like this?
Yeah, just stick with it. Like the first few exercises can be kind of confusing, kind of intimidating. Maybe it won't even feel like that great of a workout. But if you keep coming, give it at least a month. Give it that time to get a feel for the game, and you'll be hooked. My mom who's not a gamer is hooked on it. My dad who's not a gamer is hooked on it. A bunch of friends are hooked on it that you'd never think would enjoy this sort of thing. And it's the best. Just stick with it.
About that like third, fourth, fifth workout, I'm really like, holy crap.
Yep.
This works. This works.
It works.
This works. All right. Let's finish on that, and back to you guys.
Yeah.
He's going to have to, not to rain on Barrett's parade, but he's probably going to have to make that small adjustment because he's going to need that other crystal, because all that crystal would have done was force a tiebreaker if he was playing Preston, who's now his opponent in the final that's going to take place next week.
That is true. So it is going to be a very tight match between the two of them.
Yeah, that is, that was probably a perfect setup for the final. You had Preston, who won with 10,500 points and shut out the boss. And then you had Barrett, who followed up with 9,500 points, shut out the boss. And as he mentioned, if he had queued up one or more of those chest presses, he might have had a chance to get down that crystal that would have put him at the 10,500, and that would have put him at a tie. But that's going to be for next week. Of course, Mr. Mojo and Josh, a big shout out to them as well. Do think we'll have a third place between those guys before our final on Friday. And I'll be curious to see what the boss is, because I think next week's boss is going to have to be very, very challenging to slow down Preston and Barrett, because right now those guys kind of made Anubis look like, like the guy you'd face in one of the beginner tutorials.
That is true. So tweaking that next boss for these two competitors is going to be very, very unique, because they do push very hard. So yeah, it's just so awesome to see them just set the bar so high, and it'll be fun to see who wins.
Yeah, like we said, next Friday, starting at 6 o'clock, same time as tonight, we will have our final of the Black Box VR Winter Invitational. It is Preston taking on Barrett, who just both put on a huge show. I'll be curious if Preston decides for a 4 straight workout again between now and the championship. I don't think he will, but I'm really excited to see it, because that just got me hyped. Like, I want to see them tie and both of them get 10,000 points, and we have to go to, like, total volume, because, both those guys just made a mockery of the boss, and I just love to see him do it again next week.
Well, I actually took a little sneak peek, and as Barrett has said, he did 69
670, something like that, somewhere around there.
Preston only did just a slight bit more than him. So, I mean, it would be, they're so close right now. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, so our tiebreakers are point differential, which they are probably going to be almost dead even on, and then total volume lifted. And if they tie on that, I mean, good luck, because you make it sound like there is a chance they could even tie on total volume lifted.
They really could. They came very close, within just like 1,000 pounds of each other.
That is absolutely insane. Well, like we said, next Friday, it is the final between Barrett and Preston. You're going to want to make sure you check that out. And in the meantime, go check out Black Box VR there in downtown Boise in the Zions Bank building. It is just awesome. As Barrett said, even if you're not a gamer, give it those first 6 workouts, just because that's how long the tutorial takes. And there is, a little bit limited. Once you get to the tutorial, you'll get hooked and you want to keep going back. But Amber, I can't wait to see you next week for the final. It's going to be a ton of fun. But until next time, have a great evening, and we'll see you for the championships next Friday.
Bye, guys.